So the plant Rudraksha and the betel nut Nagaveli, the betel leaves. Okay. And the vidanga, So the first plant which I already showed it to you is called it as a Rudraksha plant. The second plant, the herbal plant, which I already showed you, is called it as a Nagaveli, the betel leaves. And the third plant, which I showed it to you already, is called it as a Vidanga, Vaudinga, which is one of the most important herb, the plant, which helps to work on the krumi, the worms concept in the body. Hello everyone. Happy International Yoga Day to all of my viewers. Happy International Yoga Day, guys, and let me know if you can see me very well. Today, internationally, we are celebrating throughout the world. Maybe almost like 170 of the countries are celebrating this special day. And this day is recognized and dedicated to yoga. This 21st of June is recognized by many countries for the Yoga Celebration Day. Celebration. If it's a celebration, it's fun. It's a joy. And this specific day is dedicated to yoga because of the importance and the acceptance of yoga throughout the world. When we celebrate, most of the time the celebrations are domestic or the celebrations are national. I think this is the only celebration where we celebrate this festival. We celebrate festival in 160 to 70, I believe, almost 200 of the countries throughout the world are going to celebrate this day with us. So welcome, welcome, and welcome. And welcome to Ayurveda Healing Spa. And today's topic, as I mentioned you earlier, is we are going to celebrate this special day, and I'm going to celebrate my day, my my experience and my experiences of yoga, the practice of yoga with all of you. I'm going to celebrate Ayurveda, but today I will be given the importance and I will be talking more about yoga. I will be talking more about the practice of yoga. I'll be talking more about the practices of yoga, meditation, practice of pranayama. I'll be talking about all the practices for the physical body and for the mental body and for the spiritual body. And I will be talking about one more aspect of this journey, which is an emotional aspect. So I will be talking all of these different practices today from the chapter of yoga, from the chapter of yoga, which we have started practicing maybe thousands and thousands of years, with the history of from the era 2nd BC got more accepted into the surgical aspect in the 4th century and got accepted more into the routine practices at the 6th century. So different time, different Ayurvedic practitioners, different yoga practitioners have given us different tools, different knowledge, the way of their own practices and the practice what we can use on the day-to-day basis to improve our practice, our karma, our action, to improve our actions, to improve our yoga with many various different yoga, the different practices. So what I am showing you all the time is this is all the Ayurvedic herbal medicine. This is all the Ayurvedic yogic herbs what we practice as a yoga also. So all of the viewers, give me a thumbs up and let me know if you can hear me very well and if you can see all the things what I'm trying to show you very well. Once again, happy International Yoga Day, and guys, happy Father's Day to all the wonderful and beautiful and handsome and caring and loving and the heroes of our kids, all the dads. Happy Father's Day. So today I am going to share my journey and my practice of yoga with you all, the real meaning of yoga, the practice of yoga. These are all the plants and herbs. These are all the herbs which yogis have given importance. Why I'm showing you all this? Because yoga and yogic practices, they are observed and practiced and learned through the observance. They are learned from the experiences, and these are the things what I practice in my practice of yoga and Ayurveda on the day-to-day basis for my clients, for my extended family, for my all the community where I am located. And these are all the practices of yoga. So happy International Yoga Day. But the important thing what I have observed in my 20 years of practice is giving importance to the physical approach. So yoga was practiced in India over the thousands of years in the form of the practices, called it as puja or rituals or traditions or my family tradition. So these are the different ways of doing the yoga. These are the different ways of doing the practice, the practical yoga or the practice of yoga on the day-to-day basis. Okay, so yoga was practiced and yoga is practiced and yoga will be practiced in the traditions. You can say the tradition from the Ganges, or the traditions from from India, or the traditions from the Vedic cultures, or the traditions from the Indian area, the surrounding of the India. So traditions where we have shared and where we have given, or where the way we have spread this knowledge of yoga and the practices of yoga throughout the surrounding countries, or maybe you can say throughout the world, because we have the references about Takshashila and Nalanda, these universities, where people from most of the different countries, they used to travel, and international students used to travel to India to learn. Basically, they used to travel at that time, long time back, specifically about the different arts and Ved, and they used to come and learn about Ayurveda. So India, the Takshashila and Nalanda, these were the hubs of the international students for the learning of like the way we learn. We go internationally out of your own country and go to the different country to learn. So people used to come to India to learn about Ayurveda, to learn about yoga, and this was the hub for all the students, specifically these universities, what we have learned in our books and in our text, that Nalanda and Takshashila were the great places to attract. There was not like the highly ranked universities, but these were one of the best universities recognized throughout the world at that time. Now, yoga, the word became yoga. In the way it started spreading throughout the world, right? From the east, it traveled to the west. The way we started migrating, or specifically the acceptance and sharing and spreading of yoga started at the time of from the time of Buddha. Buddhism tradition, or the path of Buddhism, or the practices of Buddha, the practice from that time era helped us to bring this concept of yoga and Ayurveda and these different way of practicing the guidelines came came to the West, or came to the migrated to the surrounding countries next to India, like China, Tibet, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, all the different countries, like wherever we monk, or our Buddhist monk, or our yogis, our monks, they traveled with this abundance of knowledge of yoga and Ayurveda, and then they started practice, and the people local in that area started accepting these thoughts, these practices, these guidelines in their own practices. And that's how the yoga started traveling out of India to the different parts of the surrounding countries, neighboring countries, to the different parts of the world. And then it started traveling to the European countries, and then it got very much importance. All right, so the journey of yoga is the practices of yoga and the practice of Ayurveda. It's all about it's a revolution every time. It's the knowledge. It's a change. It's a revolution. The way of accepting it as per the time is like it's like going further and further into the details. Okay, so the base is base. The roots are same. The what do you call it? The importance, what we need, the foundation, the importance, which is like the basic requirements for the practices are same and supposed to be practiced throughout the world the same. But as a Ayurvedic doctor, and as a yogic practitioner, and as a yoga teacher, as well as a healer, what I have seen in my 20 years of practice is very, very important difference which I observe in my clients and in my practice is like the acceptance of yoga is on very external approach. The acceptance of yoga is specifically it's only on the physical approach. The acceptance of yoga is on the asana level, the acceptance of yoga on the physical movement level, the acceptance of yoga on external approaches is much more ahead than the practice of yoga on the mental practices, the practice of yoga for the spiritual practices, for the practice of yoga for the inner practices is less. But the acceptance of yoga on the physical approach is compared to the other practices is much more, and it's more than like, it's like none. That's what I see in my surrounding areas, is like the practice of yoga is much more on the physical level, on the asana level, rather than any other forms. So as a Ayurvedic practitioner and as a yoga teacher, in today's session and today's live, you are going to connect with me for many different approaches which I will be sharing with you all today. My practice of yoga is a practice of self, and the practice of yoga for this specific concept of accepting this special day, the yoga day throughout the world, is makes me share this knowledge of yoga and the importance of yoga, why it's supposed to be in a different way than the way we practice in the West. Okay, so the importance of yoga and the yogic practices and the recognition of the yoga throughout the world, the recognition of this day specifically dedicated to the yoga and the yogic practices and the festival of yoga in throughout the globe. Maybe almost like every part of the world, every part of the world, every even corner of the world, you can say nowadays, has accepted yoga for the benefits and its profound effects on the physical, its profound effect on the healing approach. It's a profound effect of making you feel better, and when you practice yoga, people start feeling more about they start feeling more positive, they start feeling more good, they start feeling more energetic, they start feeling more active, they start feeling more relaxed, they start feeling less anxiety, they start feeling reduced tension in the body on the physical level as well as on the mental level. People start feeling more about people start feeling more about calm. They start feeling more about the calmness. They start feeling more about the good feelings, good vibes, good energy. So when people are feeling these benefits of yoga with the only practice of the physical approach, which is called it as a asana practice, or which is called it as a asana practice, that gives you that much feeling of positivity, that give you that much positivity, good energy, good source of energy, good healing. Then think about it, that when you practice the yoga for the mental, physical and soul or inner concept practices, then think about the effects and the profoundness of benefits and the multiplication of the feeling, what you are feeling with the physical approach practice, which is a asana practice. Very much fond, most of the people are fond of that practice compared to the practices of the physical and compared to the practices of compared to the practices of mental and spiritual and emotional than the physical practice. Okay, so let's talk about the definition of yoga. So guys, it's very important to know what is the meaning of yoga. I hear in my practice all the time from my clients that it's like I do yoga, I practice yoga. So for me, what I feel nowadays is the importance of yoga and the way of practicing yoga has diminished a lot. When we say that yoga is a practice which makes most of the time what I see in the West is like people feel still yoga is a religion, where I feel it bad that they accept yoga. In my surroundings, they accept the physical yoga. They accept the asana practice, but strongly they have rejected the practice of any other practices from yoga. So I hope you understood what I said, that the physical practice is accepted very well throughout the world in the different areas very commonly, but the practice of mantra, the practice of prayer, the prarthana, the practice of chanting mantras, the practice of the practices of tantra. So these all other practices, they are not given the equivalent importance compared to the physical yoga practice. So the practice This is, oh my gosh, look at my tulsi. Sorry guys, I can't stop looking at tulsi. Give me a second, let me, Okay, so this is the supreme herb. What is this? It's a supreme herb. Like sun salutation, it's a supreme yoga. Omkara, it's a supreme mantra. Tulsi, it's a supreme herb. All right? Okay, let's continue with yoga. I can't stop sharing my learning of yoga and Ayurveda on the day-to-day basis. So today's this whole session, the live, is dedicated to yoga and yoga. So I will stick to the point. If I go here and there, bring me back to yoga, okay? Because I can't separate the practices of yoga and Ayurveda and all the different branches what I practice in my day-to-day practices. Okay, so yoga, the simple definition of yoga is union. It's a union of self with the inner me. Okay, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. This is the shloka. It's a phrase. Okay, the meaning of yoga is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. That means it's a union of mind. It means gaining control over the thoughts. Gaining control over the thoughts itself is a yoga. Okay? Now, there is another definition of yoga is the skill of doing the karma, the action, the karma is yoga. Okay, so the actions, the doings, the day-to-day activities, that is also a yoga. The one more form of definition is the union of power of soul, power of mind, and power of body is also a yoga. The day-to-day continuous and correct and sincere observance of rituals is also a yoga. So in the traditions we have seen puja, archana, kirtan, bhajan, the continuous citations of mantras, praying to the God, praying to Shiva, praying to Brahma, praying to Vishnu, different forms of the gods, right? These are all the rituals they have developed over the thousands of years of practice to practice the yoga on the day-to-day basis. So when you are doing certain ritual and when you are doing certain of the yoga, you are always and always practicing yoga. You are always and always practicing the yoga. So yoga is not a class. What I mean to say is yoga means, oh, I do yoga 3 times a day. I do yoga 5 times a day. I do yoga Monday, Wednesday. That's the only time I have for yoga. I do yoga, I just don't know. But I do this and this and this. So many times we say, I do yoga. Yoga is not supposed to be a time-based practice. Yoga is not supposed to be meant as an hourly practice. Yoga is not meant to practice 30 minutes in a day. Yoga is not meant to practice on the minute based or hourly based or day wise practice. So yoga is meant to be practiced continuously. Yoga is to be practiced non-stop. Yoga is to be practiced all the time. Yoga is to be practiced with every act. Yoga is to be practiced. It's like presence. Your presence into each and every moment of your journey, that is supposed to be yoga. Okay, so yoga is meant to be practiced non-stop, or yoga is meant to be practiced all the time. I hope you are learning along with me. You are learning along with my practice, what I practice on my day-to-day journey. So another definition, let's see, when you're talking, your talk's supposed to be positive. When you're talking, the talk's supposed to be truthful. The speech supposed to be truthful. That talking itself, when you have a positivity in that talk, in that words, that is also called it as a yoga. So yoga is defined in so many different ways, and you can practice yoga in so many different ways in your practice of yoga. When you are practicing yoga means the youthfulness in you. Yoga, the life of means the youth of the world, the practice of the positivity, the practice of the greatness, the practice of the positive affirmations in and around you. That is the youthfulness, that is the cheerfulness, that is the blissfulness. It's supposed to be practiced that way. The main meaning, the shloka in Ayurveda or in Upanishad, they have given the definition of yoga is manha prashamano payo yoga ityabhidhiyate. That means, I will repeat the shloka one more time, and this is a very powerful shloka. So if you are a yogic practitioner, and if you practice yoga, or if you are a student of yoga, or if you are a teacher of yoga, you should know, you must know this shloka. You must know this specific mantra, and this specific shloka is very, very powerful. There are many mantras and shlokas we use on the day-to-day practices, but this is one of the most important you should know about yoga. Okay, so the most important shlok in Upanishad defines yoga as a manha means mind, prashamano payo. Prashamano means balance, equivalence. Yoga means union. Iti abhidhiyate. So the meaning is the solution of the mind is called it as a yoga. The control the mind is a yoga. So manha prashamano payo yoga ityabhidhiyate. Karmasu kaushalam, that says Gita. Gita says karmasu kaushalam. That means the skill of doing the karma, the act, the karma action. So the skill of doing all of these actions is also called it as a yoga. I hope you all are with me still, and you are getting what I'm trying to say. So give me some thumbs up or send me some emojis and let me know if you hear me well, if you see the things what I'm trying to show around about yoga and Ayurvedic practices. So if you see all this well, just give me some thumbs up, let me know, send me some response so that I know that you can hear me very well. Because I just want to make sure that you all can hear me well. Okay? So, the definitions, the meaning of yoga, and the references of yoga in Ayurveda, in the different Vedas and different Upanishads, and in the different philosophical, mythological, epical books in over the period of time, is like mention. I'm trying to mention here that every time era has given the importance to the practices of the yoga. Okay. So there is one more way of looking at, as Patanjali is the father of yoga. He's the founder of yoga, and we started. He is the founder of Ashtanga. He's the founder of practices of yoga, Ashtanga yoga. So he's the god of yoga. You can always say God means something where we see all the pure qualities. So if I see pure qualities and good qualities and positive qualities in someone who has all these qualities, purities in them, then I will say, oh, that is my God. This is my God. Oh, I was looking. Oh, this is a God. So the concept of God and importance of God and the different forms of God and different ways of doing God's puja. These are all the rituals we have practiced, and we have given importance over the thousands of years. Okay, so there is a lot of deep meaning behind it. There is a lot of science behind it, and there is a lot of energy concepts behind it. So guys, it's very important to know why we do it, how we do it, and what is the importance of doing it. So all the definitions which we have learned over the years through the Upanishads, through the Vedas, through the Gita, through the epical books, we always have given importance to these practices. Okay, so now there is one more definition, or the concept of yoga has given importance. Is another definition which I would like many of you viewers and the yoga teachers and practitioners and students and like me, the followers of yoga, we like to recite this one more shloka, which is called it as I will just chant the shloka and then I will try to explain this Sanskrit shloka in a simple form. Okay, so let's talk about this definition. Yogena chittasya padena vacha, yogena chittasya padena vacham, malam sharirasya vaidyakein, yopakaroktam pravaram muninam, Patanjali Pranjali Ranatod Asmi. So this is a small. I'm going to divide this in small phrases. Yogena chittasya padena vacha. Okay. The yogena chittasya. Chitta is, that's where we are going to achieve the chitta vritti. That means my practice, my thoughts, my control, my thoughts, chitta, my thoughts. So it's like controlling the thoughts. Oh, I have some bugs around me here, so I'm outside and it's humid, hot and humid. It's early in the morning, still I see a lot of bugs because of the humidity, I believe. Anyways, so yogena chittasya padena vacha. That means the practices which helps us, which purifies us, the impurities of the mind. The impurities of the mind by removing the chitta vrittis, by removing the thoughts, by removing or taking control over the thoughts, who purifies the speech by using of grammar, because Sanskrit is a beautiful language. It is one of the oldest language developed over the thousands of years. And it has a beautiful way of using grammar from that time. So it's a whole language. It's like everything is there in that language. Okay, so yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya vaidyaken, that removing the thoughts, purifying the thoughts, purifying the speech, remove the bodily illnesses, and that's where the yoga and Ayurveda comes together. So yoga is all about removing the impurities from the thoughts. Okay, the thoughts, chitta, okay, always recite these words with me. If you would like to pronounce some of the mantras, yes, you are more welcome to recite with me. So the chitta means control over the thoughts, and what you do with the yoga is like you are gaining the control over the thoughts. And that's very important in today's life, that our thoughts are like one of the major I can say causative factor in my practice. What I have observed over the 20 years of my practice is like thoughts, the creation of the thoughts, the positivity of the thoughts, the negativity of the thoughts, and the thoughts. So that all makes the imbalances, the thoughts creates a lot of imbalances on the mind and our imprints on our soul. Okay, so this practice of yoga is meant to purify us. This practice of yoga is meant to heal us. This practice of yoga is meant to help us not only in this physical form, but beyond this form, beyond this 5-element form, or beyond this 6 feet size and width. Okay, so this practice of yoga is meant to take us to the many higher levels of practices. So yoga is meant to improve our karmic cycle also. Yoga is meant to improve our karmic bank. You can say that. Karma is an action. It's a action with a awareness, or action without awareness. So that is where the yoga concept comes and helps and heals and improves and take us to the next level, next life, next journey, XYZ. I'm not going on that route. I'm just sticking with yoga today. Okay, so I hope, give me some thumbs up, guys, and let me know if you can see me well, hear me well, and see and understand me well. If you have any questions, you are more welcome to text me, send me the messages, and we would love to answer these questions ASAP. Okay, now the concept of another yoga is, the definition of another form of yoga definition is yena vakyam yujyate sa yoga. The Rigveda says, and one of the Veda, Rigveda, it has given the definition of yoga is ena vakyam yujyate sa yogaha. Ena vakyam yujyate sa yogaha. The sentence that is proved to be true is called it as a yoga. Ena vakyam, this sentence, ena vakyam yujyate sa yogaha. So the sentence that is proved to be true is called it as a yoga. Okay, so the definition of yoga, every book, the Vedas are the base of the Hindu philosophy. Not the Hindu, it's the base of the base and the requirement and the knowledge, everything what we need for this journey, the craft, the kala, the art, the science, Vignan, the uses of metals, everything is mentioned into yoga and into the Veda, and yoga also comes from Veda, and also Ayurveda comes from yoga. Ayurveda also comes from Veda. Okay, all are synonym, all are like same phrases. So stick with me. All right. So another definition which is very important for us to know the basics, the concepts about yoga is like practicing the yoga. Yoga is not only a practice. I do yoga. I go to yoga class. I do this. Oh, this is what I do, practice in my yoga. Yoga is not always like doing and performing the action or practicing the physical asana. It's a very wrong way of looking at it. It's not a proper way of practicing yoga. Yoga is it's a union. It's a union of your mind, your body, and your soul. Yoga is not meant all the time to be the practices, the asana practice, this practice, that practice. No. Yoga is meant, most of the time, it is the practice of rituals, or it's a practice, correct and sincere practice of observance. It's a practice of observation. That is also a yoga. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say here, guys. Yoga is not meant to be a practice of physical activity. You know, our rishis and our practice, our all monks, they have never did these physical asanas. I don't know. I have never heard. I don't know. And even I still feel like what I see the yogis and rishis who comes to the Nashik, the Kumbh Mela, the hubs of all the yogis people, where they come and cleanse and purify themselves for a specific time period. That's called it as the Mela, the Kumbh Mela, which happens in India at 2 to 3 different places. So Kashi, Nashik, these are the places where all the yogis throughout the world, they come together to celebrate these powerful effects of the nature at a specific time era, a specific time to cleanse themselves and get to the next level. That's what that places and that practices are called. It's a Kumbh Mela is one of the well known in Maharashtra state, where the Nashik is located, and that is the place. Trimbakeshwara is the location where people do go for the Kumbh Mela, and thousands and hundreds and thousands and maybe I don't know, maybe millions of yogis comes together at this place to enjoy the practice of yoga. Okay, so, but I have never seen them doing some physical activity. Okay, do this triangle, do this warrior, do this forward bend, do this wheel, do this upside down, do this bound pose, do this fish pose, do this triangle pose. I have never seen yogis. I have never seen the old people, the yogis, the practitioners, the monks. I have never seen them doing this in my practice of 20 years plus 20 years before. So in my practices, I have never seen the practice meant to be on the physical level. I have never seen all these yogis and the yogis from the Himalayas and yogis from all over the world, you know. They're not really, the real yogis are not really into the physical approaches. Physical asana practice. They are more into just, if you go to, I will just take India because I am from India, and I have spent more time and observed more in my life. So I'm just going to explain what is the practice of observance, and that is also called it as a yoga. So if you go to India, and if you will see a lot of small temples and temples all over the places. So these are the places they are meant for just to go there and sit down. You go there and you can't dance, and you can't do masti, and you can't do you can't do the fights, and you can't do loud talks, and you can't do talk rubbish. You can't do all this when you go to the temples. Or it's like same like when we go to the church, right? When we go to the church, we have a specific way of following and specific way of doing, and we have specific routine to follow in that, right? So everywhere in the world we follow specific certain ways of practicing in the temples, in the church, and whatever the places where we pray, and we practice the spirituality. So these are all the places where we do not ever do the wrong things, and we just sit calm, spread the positivity, spread the love, spread the caring, sharing. All this happens when we go to the different places, and then we share all this positivity to achieve maybe the supreme, to achieve or maybe reach to our higher journey, or maybe reach to our further further positive step in our journey, right? I hope I don't want to use many huge words here, but I'm just talking the practical approach of it. Okay. All right, so this is another best definition of yoga mentioned into the Rig Veda is ena vakyam yujyate sa yogaha, and then there is another definition which I told, observance, and that is also a yoga. Okay, guys. So I have shown you enough, talked to you enough about the yoga and yogic practices and what yoga means to the specific area, and how yoga travel, and the practices of the references of yoga. So this is all very important to know the beauty of yoga and the practice of yoga and the ways of living yoga, the practicing yoga in our day-to-day life. Okay, so when you are doing the yoga, you are basically practicing your own consciousness. You're practicing, and you are getting more aware about the things what you're doing. You are practicing about the consciousness, mindful awareness. These are all the things you are practicing when you are practicing yoga. And yes, that is exactly what we would like to practice in yoga, is like sit down at one place. If you want to connect with yourself, and if you cannot connect with yourself when you are you have open eyes, then close your eyes and just concentrate on your body. Concentrate on your physical body, concentrate on your body systems, body organs, then try to concentrate on your inner all the things what you can observe through your inner through your practice. So observe yourself inside, and that's exactly what the yoga means, and that's exactly what the practice of yoga is supposed to be. I hope you are understanding the real meaning of yoga, and as a celebration of the yoga day, my intent is to share these concepts of yoga and the practices of yoga with you all for a very important reason, because I want all of you to know the beauty of yoga and the beauty of Ayurveda, how it goes together. Okay, if you say like, oh, I'm practicing yoga, I practice yoga, but if you are not aware of your physical body, and you for example, let me give you an example. Okay, so I have seen in my practice that when I go to the teaching classes and when I teach people the private classes for specific diseases, I teach the disease-wise yoga, and then I teach the therapeutic yoga. I teach the yoga for postural imbalances, postural defects. I teach yoga for the anxiety, yoga for to reduce the tension, depression. I teach yoga for all the all the diseases which are related with muscles and nerves and skeletal bones, all these things when they get affected. So I teach yoga for very specific and therapeutic effects. So my always approach is to guide my people, to my clients, the concepts of food, the concepts of cleansing, the concepts of importance of diet, the concepts of balancing the body on the physical level first, and then balancing the body on the mental level, and then balancing the body on the higher level. Because in Ayurveda, we have given the importance to the physical body secondary, and we have given the importance to the mental body first. The mana, sharira and atma is a sanyog. So the union of the mind, body and soul, that is how they are sequenced, the definition. So we have given the importance to the mana, which is a mind, and yoga is meant to help and heal our mind. So we have given the importance to the yoga before giving the importance to the physical body. So think about it, guys. Yes, today is International Yoga Day, and we are celebrating this day. Almost the whole globe is celebrating this day. 21st June is meant and dedicated to the yoga. And people do celebrate this yoga in different forms. There are huge gatherings, celebrations, festivals, group events, community events, like the melas in India, the melas, the mela places, the mela concept, the same. We in the West have the same concepts. And yes, because of the COVID, this year we are not doing any group activities, and that is going to help us and heal us more at this time. So this is what I am going to show you now is the things what I have explained you and mentioned you until now. Is like all the different ways of looking at yoga. Okay, now what I'm going to show you is like two different things what I have mentioned you in my book, and this is all I mentioned in my book is what I discussed with you all. So I have given the importance to the day-to-day food and the different forms of the food and the ways of the food, the way we should eat if we are a yogic practitioner. You should know the body type when you are practicing the yoga. You should know your body constitution before you practice the yoga, because it's very important to know what type of yoga is suitable to you. You should not, or you cannot just do all the yoga. If you have a specific imbalance and if you have a specific disease, then you need to do some specific work on your body. And yes, all of these things I have mentioned in my books, and I have tried to give the importance to all these different factors of yoga, how we can practice on the day-to-day basis to help and improve our quality of life. Yes, So I have given all these different herbs which I have showed you. Yes, I have showed you this plant which had a like a cactus, which had like fruits with a lot of thorns around it. I have showed you that was the castor plant. You can see that there in my video. At the starting of the video, I have showed you many of these plants which are all the herbal and medicinal plants, and that was one of the one which I showed you at the beginning of the video, Arenda, which means the castor. And then I have mentioned all the different ways of thinking, powers, and their effects, the frequency, how it hurts, how it creates the diseases in the body. So I have given the importance of the emotional aspects and how the emotions create the diseases in the body and their research. And I have mentioned a lot of different ways of different food list and different ways of eating the food, along with all the supreme yoga poses. And I have mentioned all these yoga poses in my book, which is healing the mind, body, and soul. For the healing the mind, body, and soul, first book is all dedicated to the food awareness and practices, and also I have mentioned few of the supreme yoga poses here which can help you heal you on the day-to-day basis practices, and you can learn all these important asana practice through these with the explanation and how you should do it, and cueing and sequencing. That all I have mentioned here in my first part of the book. And the same way I have mentioned in the second part of the book is healing the mind, body, and soul, the self-awakening to reset, reboost, and rebalance with the practices of yoga and the practice of mudra I have mentioned in this book. In this book, I have mentioned many different ways of practicing Ayurveda, the importance of mantras and what they are meant for, how they affect on the different body parts, where they are connecting, which higher areas or which supreme areas you are connecting with these asanas, and what is the reason you should do this asana, what are the things you can learn, how you can do, what are the most important things you should know about when you are practicing, because you cannot just practice without knowing what is required for your physical body, what is required for your mental body, and what is required for your spiritual body. You cannot just do yoga. You need to understand the meaning of yoga, the practice of yoga, the ways of doing yoga, the ways of living with yoga, the ways of practicing yoga on the day-to-day basis. Because it's not like one time in a week, once a week I do the yoga. No, this is very wrong. This is the wrong way of doing the yoga, okay? Yoga is a practice. It's a practice, and it's a practice in the presence. You need to understand that, and that all I have mentioned in my book, in the second part also. So these two books I have tried to bring, these two books I have written until now to share with you all the importance of why it is very important to think about. See, my first book is all about the self-awareness and the food. Okay, so give me some thumbs up if you see the name, and if you have any thoughts about the colors and the pictures and the way I have came up with the book cover page. If you like it, just let me know. I will be very happy to know your thoughts. Okay, and in the second part, it's all about the practice of the tools of yoga. The practice of the yoga and practice of the mudra, and different practices, chakra, healing, mantra, food, all the practices I try to bundle up into this first part and in the second part, because I am practicing from last 20 years in the West. And I have learned a lot from my clients, and I learn a lot from my different cultures who comes to see me to get some Ayurveda approach and a yoga approach for their better health. So I'm very happy, very proud of all my clients who gives me the wonderful opportunity to help them, to heal them for the different diseases, for the different imbalances, or for the different things what they are suffering at this present moment in their life. So when they come to see me, they are coming to understand the concept, what is happening to them, why this is happening to them, what is the reason, how Ayurveda sees this imbalance, how Ayurveda sees this disease, how Ayurveda and yoga can help me, how Ayurveda can guide me, how I can involve Ayurveda into my day-to-day practice, how I can help myself to heal and overcome with this issue if when they are going to that specific imbalances. And in my practice, I love to help and heal my clients on the physical level, on the mental level, on the spiritual level, on the emotional level. All of that, I try to bring this each and every approach into that one person, and I try to heal them on every level. And that's where I love my practice of Ayurveda and yoga. And yes, you should also love the practices of yoga and Ayurveda, because today is a yoga day, so I'm going to give importance to the yoga first. Okay, so the practice of the yoga and the practice of the Ayurveda, it goes hand in hand. You cannot separate them. They are like, they are the two sides of the coin, or you cannot just separate them. If you just practice Ayurveda and if you don't practice yoga, you are not going to be healthy and happy on all levels. If you're just practicing yoga and not practicing Ayurveda and the concepts of the food and the concepts of the body type, who you are, what is your biological combination, what is your biological body type, then you're not going to achieve the maximum effects. So you need to practice everything all together in one place. Then only you are practicing yoga. Okay, all right. So give me some emojis or some hands, thumbs up if you see me well and if you hear me well, because now we are going to practice some poses which are going to help and heal us. Which are going to help and heal us. So I'm going to show you very specific yogasanas. I would like you all, if you have your yoga mats, get your yoga mats and get ready, because we will be practicing together. We'll be practicing together, and today all my practices are dedicated to all the fathers, wonderful fathers, all the males, all the I'm not going to say male, but this practice is dedicated to all the yoga lovers. But today is a special day for all the yoga, all the dads, all fathers. So this is the practice which I'm going to share with you all today. Stick with me. Let's do it together and let's celebrate this Father's Day. I would love to share my way of healing to all the beautiful dads, handsome dads, all the great dads, the heroes of our kids, who are always a good example for our kids to follow, and I'm very blessed, and I'm very happy that I have a partner who is the best dad, I believe, for my kids. He's the best person, who is the great dad, who is a loving husband, who is a caring person, not only to the family and to his own people, but to everyone. So here all these asanas I am going to dedicate to all the fathers. So let's start and let's practice few of the yoga asanas. Okay, so if you have your yoga mat, you're more welcome to bring out your yoga mats and practice with me, and let's practice it together, because yes, it's a very special day. This is a yoga day. this is a celebration of yoga, and the whole world is going to celebrate. So let's celebrate it together. Okay? All right. So I'm going to turn my camera now towards me. Here you go. All right. If you all see me, let me know. I will adjust myself. Yes, here you go. So now let's start with few of the basic things which I would like you to practice with me. If you have a yoga mat or wherever you are, if you have a nice place, just stand up. Okay? Now, the first important thing what I would like you to do is bring your both palms together. Both palms together. So the right is pressing on the left and you press firm. Okay? So when you press firm, there is no space between the two palms. Okay? And now, whatever I have taught until now, remember that. Whatever I have given some cues, some points, some pointers, practice that with me. Okay? So the first important pointer is start your yoga practice, start your day of practicing of yoga with a mantra. Okay? So mantras are meant to bring your attention, focus towards you. They're meant for many different reasons, but here our aim as a yoga practitioner or as a yoga practitioner is bringing your attention, concentrating on the mind, and mantra helps very easily to do that. So the simple phrase, simple mantra can bring that much effect on us. So any practice of the yoga, when you are practicing yoga, you should and you must start with the mantra. But I have seen, I have heard, and I have learned from my clients that there are rules that you should not chant the mantra when you are practicing the yoga here in few of the places. They do not allow the yoga teachers, they do not allow the practitioners to teach the yoga classes, the teachers to teach the yoga classes with the mantra. So they don't allow. That's the rule. You should not chant the mantra in the church. You should not chant or recite these powerful Sanskrit names into the specific areas, maybe church or maybe this place, that place, or wherever they practice yoga. So that's the rule. So as a yoga teacher, as a normal person, I would suggest all my yoga teachers and all my viewers and all my friends, extended friends and families, that mantra, these phrases, this mantra is a sound energy. Just imagine that. Don't think about the religion, don't think about the yoga, don't think about India, don't think about the Hinduism. No, that's none of our, just keep that aside. What you should learn is the sound concept. At least we are same on the same level, right? At least we can understand the concept of the sound frequency, or the sound wavelength, or the frequency, or at least the mantras, the syllabus. At least we can connect with this, right? So where it comes from, it's not important. If it's powerful, I will use it. If it's coming from Tibet, if it's coming from China, if it's coming from Japan, if it's coming from South America, if it's coming from Cambodia, if it's coming from Africa, if it's powerful and useful and positive, yes, I am going to use it. So mantra is very important. So your yoga practice should start with the mantra. Okay? So let's start with the mantra. And you can chant and recite with me. Place your palms together. And these palms are pressing to each other firm. Now the second important thing when you are doing this is placing of this palm. Where do you place this palm? Right? There are two very important locations which we have seen in the culture. Do you remember the word Ram Ram? Tell me, how do you do Ram Ram? Ram Ram. Ram Ram. At least you can practice this. How about that? Yeah. So, or we can do in the God's places when you are bowing yourself, or when you are showing the when you are showing your respect, you're always doing like this. Okay. So this is a place and this is a place. Okay. So Ram Ram, you can. It's a powerful, very effective word. You are doing two things together. You are doing the physical activity and you are doing the mental activity. So Ram Ram, that's a culture. But the effect, the science, the posture, the asana, everything is there all together in the way of act. Right? Agree? So respect few of the things from our culture. It's very powerful and very easy to do, but it has tremendous energy along with it. Okay? So put your palms close to the heart. So where is the heart in the body? Any guesses, guys? Yes. Heart is like this. Do like this. So this is a fist with your thumb up. Not like this. This is like this. Okay? So this is a heart. And this heart is located in the left side of your chest. In the chestal, in the chest cavity, in the thoracic cavity, the chest and lungs are located here. And then there is a mediastinum. There is this part where the heart is located inside. So close to your left breast, nipple area. So it's like this. Okay. So you put this palm together, because heart, why I'm telling you this is very important to know, because there is a concept of marma in Ayurveda. So that is a very important marma in Ayurveda, that we have given importance to the three major marmas: Mastishtha, head; Hridayam, heart; Basti, bladder. Always and always make sure you heal them and you protect them all the time. Okay? They are the three major marmas. If they get hurt, that's very sad and bad for the body. Okay? So love them more, protect them more, and think about them more. Got it? Let me know. Give me some thumbs up if you got it. Okay. Now, that is the first thing. Putting your palms, close your eyes, disconnect yourself from the outside world and concentrate on yourself and look within you. That is the second form. The very important, disconnection. And third important thing, mantra. You recite, you chant the most powerful mantra depending upon your practice. I am going to just chant the word mantra, Om. And Om is the supreme sound or the universal sound recognized and accepted through the globe. So let's chant this mantra, Om. Okay? Practicing I hope I got a call, so I don't know whether you all heard me. So I did recite the mantra Om as the starting point of my practice. I don't know, did you all hear me? Because I got the call and the phone, I see there was a call coming in. So let me recite one more time to you and then we'll go to the next step. All right? So this is the first step. Second step, so there are different ways of doing the asana practice. The first practice is in the standing form. Second practice is in the sitting form. The third practice is in the lying down form. The fourth practice is face up or face down. That is a lying down. You decide. Then the fifth practice is like just dhyana, dharana, and then there are different angas, different steps what we do practice in the yoga. I'm just going to show you one from each posture. Okay, one in the standing form, one in the sitting form, one in the lying down form, and one in the cross leg form. Okay, so let me do first the standing form as I'm standing in front of you all. So here you go. So in the standing form, very important is you need to have the correct posture of your body. The back is straight, vision is forward, look ahead, tip of the nose or look ahead. Then your back is straight, your shoulders are relaxed, and your palms are open. So this is a standing posture. Your posture is very important when you are practicing yoga. If you are not aware of your posture and if you are doing all the practices only to loosen up the body, there is no gain, there is no benefit. What you need to understand is like the proper posture of your body. When you are doing the when you are doing the yogasana, when you are doing the asana, you need to definitely concentrate and focus on your body posture. Don't look here and there, just concentrate on your own body. Your own body concentration is the key. And then the second key is very important, focus on your breath. Your breath is the key and most important factor when you are practicing yoga. And yes, as a Ayurveda and a yoga practitioner, as a practitioner of yoga and as a practitioner of Ayurveda, I will always and always and always say, breathing through your what? Tell me. Breathing through your? Yes, I want to hear. What is it? Breathing through your nose. Always make sure you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out through your nose. What is it? Nose. Breathing through your nose, breathe out through your nose. Why? Any guess, guys? Any important reason why you should focus on the breath and breathe through the nose? Yes, because that nose with the is directly connected to our lungs. Okay, the nose is directly connected to the lungs, to the respiratory tract, to the cavities of the lung. 3 lobes. On the right side there are 3 lobes. On the left side there are 2 lobes. So your nose is connected to the respiratory system. So this is the entrance to reach to the smallest and minute and the very tiny part of your lung. It's called it as the alveolar sacs. That's where the exchange of your oxygen and carbon dioxide is going to happen in the body. So when you are breathing through the nose, there is some chemistry change is happening. If you do not breathe in through the nose, I don't know what you gain out of it, but it's not a good idea. So always make sure you breathe in through your nose. Got it? Very important here. So always make sure breathe out through your mouth. That's what I hear. I said, okay, but effects? 0. So breathing through your mouth is a very different. Breathing through your mouth is meant for some other reasons and specific conditions and specific requirements. Breathing through your nose is 100% all the time true. Breathing through your mouth is meant for some specific disorders. Okay? So I'm not going to talk about that. So the first step you got it. Second step you got it. Third step you got it, posture. thinking about you, the body language, the body posture. That's the third cue. Fourth cue, when you are doing yoga, make sure you do not have a food in your middle part. That means you eat the food and you do the yoga. Very wrong idea. The worst idea. You eat the food and do the action. You eat the food and do the physical activity. No, no. Say no, no. Okay? If you don't do yoga, that's fine. If you don't do any physical activity, it's better. But if you eat a food and then do the activity, no, no. 200% no, no. Okay? Very simple, very powerful. You have to think when you're doing all your practices. All these are the cues. If you do not follow these rules, don't do it. There is no benefit. There is no gain. Okay? All right? Guys, I'm too away from my phone. Do you all hear me? Do you all hear me well? Yeah? I'm just not sure. Let me get my phone. Or maybe, let's see. Okay. Now, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. One last time. That was the standing. Another standing and very important, all our yogic people, they used to stand in this posture. It's called it as a tree posture. Vrukshasana. Vrukshasana. Vruksha means tree. Asana means posture. So vrukshasana means standing. Okay? In the standing form, now I am on the lawn. So let me see if I can balance myself very well. But I will try my best. Okay? Now, you bring your right knee up. Now, I am going to get my feet close to my pubic, in the groin area, close to the... Okay, hold on a minute, guys. I have a lawn below and very slippery, but I will try. Here you go. Okay, so you stand correct, your posture, your back straight, shoulders relaxed. I have taken my my right knee, and I have kept my foot close to the groin on the inner thigh. So thigh, the front, outside, and the inner side. So my foot is aligned with the inner thigh. Okay? And this is the posture I'm looking for. And here all the yogi people, they used to stand on this leg. Maybe many days, many months, many years, I believe. That's how they have their own practices. Let me see how much time I can stand on this. So this is a homework for you guys. Okay? So practice at home. Balance yourself. Concentration, connection, observe, and you can do many different forms in this. So this is a Vrukshasana, the balanced tree pose. So this is the standing form. Now I'm going to do the side bending. Okay? So vertebrae is like a strong channel. Vertebrae are kept on top of each other. They start from the cranium. This is the base of your head. Let's call it as the atlas vertebra. The first one is called it as the atlas vertebra, and then the chain starts all the way till the sacral area, the tip, the tail, the cauda equina, the base of your spine. Okay, so it starts from here, which is the cranium, the base of your skull. The first vertebra is the atlas, and the second one is the occiput, and then it travels all the way down from the vertebrae, and then they end here. So that's called the base point of our spinal column, and that's called it as the last bone. It's like filament. It's a film. The base is just like nose, small nose into the tip. Okay, so the vertebrae are divided into the cervical area. So this is called it as a cervical area. Okay, this is a cervical vertebrae. Then they are called it as a thoracic vertebrae in the thoracic region. That's where the T1 to T12 are there present. And then they are divided into the lumbar vertebrae, into the lumbar lower back area. That's called it as a L1 to L5. And then they are divided into the sacrum, the base of your spine. That's where they are called it as a sacral vertebrae. They are also in the lumbar region there are 5, and in the sacral region there are 5, right? And then the tip, the filament, the end, the pinpoint of the vertebrae, that spinal filament cauda equina, that is like a tip of the end of the vertebral column. So they start here and they end here, and then they are holding all this weight. I hope you got me. Yes? Yeah? Yes. So they are holding our this everything upright position, right? So who is important here? Yeah, very important to help and heal on the day-to-day basis, the postures, the asanas, the practices which can help and heal and open and make the flow of the energy, the channels proper through this, right? Because the vertebral body, the vertebrae are kept on each other, and then there are paravertebral bodies, right? They're stacked together. So the middle and the external. So the middle part, the vertebral body is like this, and then the side is like a processes, the spinal process and the transverse processes. So they are all the parts of the vertebrae. So when you're doing the side asanas, you are helping, you are improving, you are enhancing the lateral side of your body, your vertebral energies in the body. You are helping and healing all the nerves which are traveling through the vertebrae, around the vertebrae, all the muscles around the spinal column. So it's very important to have this in your practice. I'm just going to show, because it's going to be very hard for me to show you here all the vertebral different asanas, but you are more welcome. If you need a help for specific disease, for specific conditions, for specific immune disorders, autoimmune diseases, if you are suffering with anxiety, sleep issues, insomnia, migraines, headache, acid reflux, IBS, if you are suffering with ADHD, if you are suffering with high blood pressure, pressure in the body, mental pressure, physical pressure, if you are suffering with the restlessness, if you're feeling low energy, you can definitely call me, reach me. My number is 704-808-0708. Yes, my number is one more time, 704-808-0708, and my website is ayurvedahealingspa.com. ayurvedahealingspa.com. It's a one word, okay? And then if you don't find anything, just Google my name, Aruna Patki, Ayurvedic doctor. Aruna Patki, Ayurvedic practitioner, Ayurvedic doctor. You can Google something like this and my all information will pop up for you guys. And you can definitely, if you have any disease to deal with, hormonal imbalances, arthritis, BP related issues and all of that, any disease, if you have it, you are more welcome to connect with me to learn all these specific therapeutic yogas for that specific condition, specific disorder, specific disease in you, so that I can guide you and help you on many different ways and many different way of healing. Okay, because I have healed many people. I have a practice here. I had my practice in New York, and I was the director for Panchakarma in New York. Then I traveled to the south part of the country, and now I have practiced at one place from last 14 years at one place. So I feel like my whole practice is word of mouth. My one client sends the other, and it goes on. They're all the referrals from friends, families, doctors. I have a practice with 2 other doctors in the city where I go and do the Ayurvedic consultations, and I help and heal their patients, and I give my opinions about Ayurveda and yoga for their chronic conditions, chronic diseases. And then I go around in the community at different churches, different places to share this wisdom of thousands of years of practice of yoga and Ayurveda for our wellness and well-being concept in our community. Okay, so please do call me, and all these today's teaching is dedicated to the yoga, to the International Yoga Day celebration, and all the dads. This today's session is dedicated to all the fathers, all the dads, because it's a Father's Day. Okay, now the side bending. Let's come to the side bending. So in the side bending, I'm going to go up with my breathing, and then I'm going to bend to the side. So this is my side bending. Okay, now let's do one for the sitting one. Okay, I'm sitting on my knees and my toes are connected. So I'm sitting on my knees. It's called it as a Vajrasana, and many of you might know this asana, so practice with me. So I'm sitting in Vajrasana. I'm sitting on the knees, and my toes are connected in the back. And now I'm going to rest my glute area, my buttock area, my hip bone, my pelvic girdle right on the or right on the heel. Okay, so okay, I hope you see me well. So my pelvic girdle, my pelvic bone, my glutes, the glute maximus and glute minimus. So I'm typically, my heel is connected to the acetabulum. That much connection is there. Okay, the, the cavities. It's very important the way you are sitting, the proper posture. So it's all about mindful doing yoga. Okay, so back is straight, shoulders relaxed, and you can sit. This is the supreme asana, and this is the only asana. This is the only posture. This is the only practice you can do after the food. All other practices, asanas, are contraindicated, and this is the only asana posture which you can do along with the food. It's up for the digestion. This is a asana which helps and improves the digestion in the body. So you can sit in this asana right after the food ingestion. Okay, all right. So this is called it as a Vajrasana, Vajra Asana. So you sit, you're calm, relaxed. You're sitting on the knee. Your pelvic girdle, your pelvic bone is right on your heels. Your toes, both toes are connected to each other. Your back is straight, your shoulders are relaxed, and your palm are facing down on your knee, or you can keep it open. I prefer it palm facing down in this. So this is the asana you can use right after the food, but it's very good for people with varicose veins, veins prominency, the pain in the leg, the calf issues, the tibial pain, the splinter pain, the pain in the tibia and fibula, that area, the front of the lower leg, the back of the lower leg, the calf area where the gastroc and the soleus, they are connected. Then the quads, then hamstrings, every major lower muscles are going to get involved in this one asana. So it's very powerful, very powerful. Okay, so this is the Vajrasana in the sitting, and let me see if I do the lying down. I feel like it's going to be tough, but let me do the lying down, but I will just do the one Sarvangasana. Okay, so in the lying down and in the supine position, I don't know, but let's see. You can hear me well, let me know. Only one. I'm on the slope also, but let me see if I do the best. If not, then I will turn around and go other place and do this asana. Okay, so let's see. The Sarvangasana means the shoulder stand. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lie down on my back. My legs are straight. My back is straight. My each vertebra is connected to the ground. My body is relaxed, very calm. My toes are active. And I'm going to do the shoulder stand here. It's called it as a Sarvangasana. Sarvanga means whole. Asana means posture. So the posture or the asana in which most of the benefits, most of the effects you are going to get and achieve through the one act, one physical asana, one asana. Okay, Sarvanga asana. Maximum effects in one action, one posture, Sarvangasana. So I'm going to lift my legs, and then I'm going to lift myself high enough. And if you are good, from here, toes up, active, vision on your toes. And if you want, and if you are good in your practice, then from here you can slowly go into the halasana. And the same way you come back, support your back always. And then one by one, slowly you reach your vertebrae on the ground, and then you go down and bring your legs down with a control. Yes, this is called it as a Sarvangasana. So Sarvangasana is the top of all the asanas. And when you do this asana, the whole backflow of the blood, the circulation, the backflow of the blood is going to improve. So this is one of the most important asana to practice in your day-to-day practices. For the physical healing, for the physical improvement in the body, we need these specific asanas, specific organs, specific channels, specific diseases, specific accumulations of the specific yogasanas for specific diseases. And that's how the yogic practitioner and the Ayurvedic teacher, Ayurvedic doctor and the yogic practitioner, as a practicing both, I will think of each and every aspect what I am sharing with you all. I would like to share one last asana, which is called it as a sitting posture asana. In the sitting posture, you can do this asana. Let me see if I can change my position and bring this camera so I don't know guys whether you have seen my last asana, which is called it as a Sarvangasana very well. If you have seen that, let me know. If you have understood that asana, it will be how can I show you guys? Let me give me a second. I will just grab some support for my phone so that I can guide you my next asana, which is the last form in the sitting posture, and we'll be doing this in the sitting posture. Okay, perfect. Yes, I think this is good, right? Yeah, I hope you all can see me well and you learn. So let me know if you have seen my Sarvangasana well. If not, I will show you one more time. You can do it. It's very simple. You can definitely try it, and it is profoundly beneficial for the backflow of the blood. It flushes out from the legs to the heart. So it's a backflow. So it's going to improve the flow, circulation in your body. Okay. So, and the last one, let me do one more time the Sarvangasana for you guys. Just the one which I showed you before already, because I was on the lawn, which was a little wobbly because of the lawn, the gavat. Gavat. Okay. The Sarvangasana, the proper one last time. Okay, let's see. I'm lying down on my back, and the most important thing what I'm doing here is bringing my legs up, and then I'm holding it up. And this is, you can go up and up. The way you have a control and practice, you can improve, you can go higher and higher. And you can, again, you can do many different poses here. but I will just stop here and then slowly come back. The way you went up, the same way you come down. Okay, so this is called it as a Sarvangasana, the one of the supreme asana to practice. And then the last asana in the sitting posture, it's called it as a Padmasana. Padma means lotus, it's a flower, and Padmasana means the lotus posture. So this is a Padmasana. So what you do, your both legs are forward, back is straight, shoulders relaxed. Then you bring your right leg on top of the left thigh, the crease, right? Thigh. And then you bring your left leg and put it on the right crease, right leg. And then you sit in this posture, and this is called it as a Padmasana. So both legs are crossed nicely, and your knees are on the ground, and you're sitting in this posture, and you're breathing. Nice breathing in and nice breathing out. This is the breathing practice. Again, when yogis used to this posture, Siddhasana and Baddhasana, these are the postures the yogis used to use in their practices. Then it means definitely they have some profound effects on our each and every system in the body. There are 10 to 13 different systems in the body with many organs and thousands of miles of nerves and muscles, right? So this 6 foot has a lot to deal on the day-to-day basis. So make sure you do take care of each and every organ is important to the body. Every system is important to the body. Every channel is important to the body, and every small, minute part, every cell in the body is important to the body, right? If we do not respect the smallest cell, and if we do not take care of the small part of our body, that can create a imbalance in our body on the major level. And then we named it with many diseases. That small cell, if we do not have a control on it properly, that can create a havoc in the body, and that havoc is named as a, or that imbalance is named as a, yes, you know it, cancer. Okay, so make sure your all practices are meant for your physical, mental, spiritual and emotional health. They are meant to control your sympathetic, your parasympathetic, your nervous system in the body. They are meant to bring the control on your mind, to bring the control on your body and your inner you. These are all the yogic practices are meant to improve our quality of life. These are all the yogic practices are meant to take us to the next level, our growth. They are meant to improve us. They are meant to improve us on the karmic level also. So make sure you practice yoga not only 2 days in a week or 1 hour in a week or the specific time, but you should practice the yoga at every moment. The practice of yoga is the presence, living in the presence, staying in the presence, observing the presence, doing the act, which is a positive, affirmative, which is doing these acts is also a yoga. Okay, so yoga is not a brand, yoga is not a fancy word, yoga is not a asana practice, yoga is not doing some physical activity, yoga is not some doing funny postures. Yoga is connection. Yoga is your practice of bringing the union but union of whom? Two with whom? Union of whom with whom? Union of my with myself. And that can happen in any action. If you chant, you can achieve that. If you do mantras, you can achieve that. If you just look at something and observe everything beautiful, you can achieve that. If you do some gardening, you can achieve that. If you cook, you can achieve that. If you are taking good care of your kids, that is a yoga too. If you are doing taking care of animals around you, that is also a yoga. So yoga is not an activity, yoga is an act. Okay, mindful act, mindful living, mindful awareness, mindful thinking. Mind, everything where your mind is present, everything where you are connecting with yourself, everything when you have that awareness, that is called it as a yoga. And yes, as an Ayurvedic doctor and an Ayurvedic practitioner and a yogic practitioner, myself, I'm very proud of the yogic practices, what I have learned over the last 40 years in my life, which I share with my clients, with my all the people who comes to see me for and get some help for their conditions and health benefits. I love to share my knowledge, my practice, and my experience, what I learned from my client over the last 20 years, and I try to pass it to the next client. So I practice this all with my heart. I practice this all with my soul. I practice Ayurveda and I practice yoga for bringing the positivity, for bringing the balance, for bringing the positive effects, for bringing the person happiness back. I practice Ayurveda and yoga to bring the balance back to my people who are suffering with some imbalances and who are diagnosed with some diseases or some symptoms. So I try to help and heal and bring some balance back into them with my yogic practice and my Ayurvedic practice. So I'm very, very happy to share with you all today this concept of yoga and the different approach of yoga, different views towards yoga, different ways of practicing yoga, different ways how the world is practicing yoga, and what are the things we need to consider when we are practicing yoga, why it is important to know the yoga and the rituals along with the yoga, not the rituals but the yogic rituals. So they all are going to bring a profound effect in your practice. And yes, as an Ayurvedic practitioner and as a yoga follower and yoga practitioner and a yoga teacher, I am very happy to share with you all this knowledge which I have gained over the 40 years of my life. So I hope today, on the celebration of the International Yoga Day and the celebration of the Father's Day, I did my part to share these beautiful concepts of yoga with you all. So if you like this, and if you like this whole concept, what I have taught you maybe from last 1.5 hours or 1 hour, I really don't know. If you like this, please do share it on your wall. Please do share it with your friends. Please do share with your family. Whom do you care and whom do you love? And whom do you want them also to get benefits of yoga and Ayurveda? So please do share this on your wall and tag me and let me know if you would like to know more about it. Share these knowledges, share these all ancient practices, share this all the concept of what I have taught you today the mantra, the chant, the nidra, the chakra, the marma, the yoga, the ayurveda, the herbs, what I have all talked about, all the different points in the whole session today. Please and please share these concepts with our community and with our friends so that we can help and heal many more lives around us. So we can do some karmic difference change in our karmas. Okay, let's do this, let's share this, let's help and heal the world, and let's share this knowledge of beautiful practices to the world so that we can bring the happiness in the world. Because if it's going to reduce the anxiety and negativity, and if it's going to help the people on these levels, then definitely we are going to increase the abundance of happiness in us, around us, and in our community, in our area, in our country, and then it will travel and flow around to the different countries. Thank you for coming on Ayurveda Healing Spa. Me myself is an Ayurvedic practitioner, Aruna Patki, and a yoga teacher and a yoga practitioner. I am always and always and always happy to help and share these knowledges and these practices with you all. And I'm happy to all the clients who have given me the wonderful opportunity to help and heal them for their arthritis, for their psoriasis, for their eczema, for their sleep issues, for their anxiety, for their weight issues, for their hormonal issues, for their nervous system disorders, for their immunity disorders, the people who have sufferings with some blood disorders, so people who are suffering with blood pressure, cholesterol, people who are suffering with all the discomfort. Whatever is the discomfort is a disease as per the modern science. But in Ayurveda, we have seen the different steps in the disease manifestation. That's where the real Ayurvedic practitioner will look into and would like to dive into the issue and help and heal the person who is coming to seek the help. Okay, so I'm glad that you all are here, and I did my part. Please do help me to share this knowledge to the others. My number is 704-808-0708. So if you need any help to you, to your colleagues, to your friends, to your family, please do share this number. Google Aruna Patki or get my website, visit my website, ayurvedahealingspa.com, as well as you can also go through my books, which I have mentioned every point in today's whole session. I have mentioned this from my books. So all this information is listed in my books, and too much information about the food, the diet, the concepts, the lifestyle, the routines, the lifestyle, the diseases, the herbs, and asanas, the supreme asanas. That all I have covered in my first book as well as in my second book, one after the other. So whatever I have learned in my practice over the 20 years of my practice, I have tried to bring that practical approach. So my book name, I will reveal one more time. It's Healing the Mind, Body and Soul. I will show you I will show you both the books, the first part and the second part. So the first part is, let me do this for you guys. So the first part is healing the mind, body and soul. And yes, the self-awakening to reset, reboost and rebalance. And then the first part is all about the self-awareness and food. And then the second part is all about the practices of yoga and practices of mudra and different practices of chakra and the thoughts and the emotions, the frequencies of the emotions, how it manifests in the disease formation. That all information is right here in these books. So please share this word, please share Ayurveda, please share yoga, so that we can bring some good effects and heal the world. So thank you, ciao, and enjoy the today's special day. Be mindful, practice yoga. The more you practice, the more you gain, and then the more you gain, the more you go further, and that's how we improve. So bring the change in you, and bring the change in you will bring the change in the community, and that bring the change in you in the community will bring the change in the country, and that bring the change in you in your community, in your country, will bring the change on the international level. So this is a International Yoga Day celebration. Thank you all for coming and watching me today. And I'm very happy to share my time with you all today on this special day. So thank you once again. Namaste. Dhanyavad. Shukriya. Hola. Bye. Ciao. Thank you. Happy International Yoga Day. Thank you all.